Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Ars Today we're going to talk about the Horace Ars Poetica. And in the previous video, we have talked about the Aristotle's Poetics. If you have not yet watched that video, here you will find the I button. You can click on the I button to get the access of that video. Today, the first part, it has a three-part, and first part we're going to discuss here. First part is poesis. In the first part, Horace gives suggestions and the ideas about the poem, what kind of poem is better and what should be there in the poems. He says there should be the organic unity in the poems. And after that, this is the first point, organic unity. This is the first point, and in the second point he says that poet is free to indulge in his fancy, but he should not misuse his power. He must not create the bad figure. He must not create the bad figure about the poetry. He must not lapse into the absurdity. And after that, he says about the painting and the poetry. This is a comparison. He says important lines you can note down: as in a painting, so in a poetry. As in a painting, so in a poetry. Important lines you can note down on your notebook. All the part of the poetry must be connected with each others. All the part of the poetry must be vitally connected with each other. And he further says there must be harmonious relationship between the parts and the whole of the poem. Next he says, this is the third point almost, yes, this is the third point. In the third point he says what kind of subject matter should be there for the poem. He suggests here that the subject should be chosen wisely. Means the subject of the poem should be chosen with the discretions. And he further says it must suit both styles and the power of the poet. It should be simple and constituent. And after that, choice of words. He talk here choice of words. What kind of words should be chosen while writing the poetry? Here he suggesting that a wise discretion must be exercised in the use and choose of words. He further says poets have liberty to coin the new words. Means poet is free to coin the new words and revive the old one. But this should be done with much discretions or with much cares. And after this, he talks about the language of the poem. He says there should be the stereotype rule or convention regarding the language of poetry. While he says, while you're gonna choose the language of the poem, there should be stereotype rules or conventions. He further says, this is very important, you must have to write down on your notebooks. Language is like a tree, and words are leaves which wither everywhere and succeeded with new ones. So here the important thing is that usage is only one arbitrary or final court of appeal. This is all about the first part. Let's discuss the second part. In the second part which is called poema, P-O-E-M-A, poema. He talked about first thing, he talked about the plot. He says plot should be based on the old stories and novelty. Novelty means new things, may be imparted by a skillful treatment. Means if you're gonna add the new things, there you need the skillful treatment. Without the skills, you can't put the novelty in the plot. And after that, he talk about the theme of the plot. He says new themes should be invented or must be imparted in the plot. For this, poet or dramatist requires the great skills and art. And after that, he says if the old story is chosen, a slavish imitation of all the details is not necessary. And care should be taken. Care should be taken for reshaping the process. If you're gonna reshape the process, then you should have to take the keys, or you should do it with a much discretion. Next, he says that comic themes should not be treated. He means that comic themes should be avoided. He says should not be treated in the lofty vein of tragedy. Lofty vein of tragedy. Remember, lofty vein of tragedy. Lofty means to make it higher. Lofty vein of tragedy. And he further here gives the suggestions that is not tragic theme should be treated in the love vein of comedy. He says further, in the plot construction, it is good to follow the example of Homer. Homer is a best example for the construction of the plot. Next, he continues the description of the plot, and he further says, in the plot, beginning should be simple, straightforward, and all unnecessary details should be avoided, and all the incidents should have a logical connection with each other. The second thing, he talked about the characterizations. According to him, character must be consistent while using the traditional characters in the poem. Their tradition should be presented with a great preservation. He further says that Achilles should be presented as energetic and wrathful and passionate. Medea, the character Medea, should be presented as a savage and subdued. He talked about the ostrich. He here says that ostrich should be presented as melancholy and grief-stricken. He further says, if the unknown character is being presented in the poem or in a drama, then the drama should not be seemed real. So he further here says that the quality of the various characters must be fit as per their age. Children should be shown as quick to anger and quick to cool. Quick to anger and quick to cool. This should be the character of the children, and this kind of character should be presented in the poem or in drama. The next he says, boys should shown the fun of games. There should be various games, and boys should presented there as they are the fun of games. And after that he says, ripe man of years should be presented like a businessman and ambitious and worldly wise. Next, he talks about old man. He says old man should be shown or presented in the poem as a critic of the new times and full of praise for the past. Next, this is the third point which he here discusses in the poems is that, or in the Ars Poetica, in the second part, that is dramatic style. He says dramatic style must be apt in accordance with the characters, moods, and circumstances. Further, he gives the descriptions of the dramatists or the description of the dramatist. He says dramatist must know what to present in the stage, and what not to present in the stage. Next part, in the Ars Poetica, he gives the descriptions of the play. He says play should not have more than or less than 5 actors. Means there should be the 5 actors. And there must be more than the 3 characters. 5 actors, 3 characters in any one scenes. Means in every scene there must be 3 characters and the play should be of the 5 actors. He further says 4th character should never be introduced in any scene. He further says the god should not intervene in the action unless it is absolutely essential. And he further says the denouncement should be the natural outcome of the incidents which have preceded, not the result of chance. He further says chorus, which is important part of the play, and he says that chorus should form the integral part of the play and its song should power action of the play. Its song should power the action of the play and must give the counsel also, and also must give the check and the control of the passion. This is all about the description of play. Next point, which is the last point of this part, of the second part, that is use of mirror. He says the mirror, the syllable which is in the mirror, which is a part of the mirror, should be arranged in a 6 group, or should be arranged in a 6 group. Means there should be the 6 part of the syllable in a verses, and the poet who wants to achieve the excellency in the poetry or drama must do, he should read it in a day and think it in a night. The third part which we're gonna discuss here in the Ars Poetica is Poetica. And in the Poetica, first Horace gives the descriptions of writing the poetry, means arts of poetry. He says the arts of poetry should acquire the liberty. There should be the liberty. There should be the freedoms in writing the poem. The poet should revise the old words. The poet should revise his poem also, which he has written several times until it attains the excellency and polish it. And advice of the wise people is very important. After writing the poetry, you should show this poetry to the wise peoples and take the advice of the wise peoples. He should not make hurry in polishing his poem, so that the good and the important outcome would be attained by his work. He here suggests to the poets that poet should not be in a hurry, or should not be in a hurry position to polish his poetry, or his work, the fountain resource of a good writing is the sound judgment. He further says, for the good poetry, for becoming the poetry powerful, nature and art play a very essential role for the good poetry. Wit and trainings are necessary for the poets to produce the good poetry. The idea of poetic madness and inspiration is also absorbed. So the here we're gonna end this lecture. If you have not yet subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel, press the bell icon to get the instant notification of all my videos. Here with a lot of hard work I make this video, and if you will not subscribe, like, and give me your valuable feedbacks, then I become distressed. Thank you very much.